Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, July 28th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the price you see over here will be changing, and then the candlestick you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. Stock number one here, TUP, did this one yesterday, talked about this nice little bull pennant pattern that had formed, but got the big breakout today, and up it goes. So yes, definitely updates need to be done on this one. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those lines as they serve their purpose for now. And really, in all actuality, it's just another pattern that has formed, and it's always good when bullish patterns continue to form in a bullish uptrend because that's the name of the game. That's what you want to see. That's what makes a chart healthy. Just one bullish pattern after another within an overall uptrend. So as far as the newest pattern is concerned, at least in my opinion, very stubborn level that popped up today, right up here around $3.30. Now I realize the price at one point did get up above there, but that didn't last very long, and then the price went back below it. And then after the price did drop below it, you can see it went back to right, acting as resistance. So if there is any sort of attempted, continued curl back upwards, that'll be the first big question mark. Can the price not necessarily break above 330 because that's already happened, but more importantly, stay above it and maintain the momentum. So keep an eye on that. From the support side of things, or from the resistance side of things, as far as supports are concerned, we have this level right here. So let me change that to green to represent the support dynamic of things. And then to make this easier to see, let's keep it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the nice upwards move here, we have, to make it a little bit more visual, the golf hole down here. So this would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So if you like stocks down below $5, you like bull pennants, keep an eye on it. Next one here, FEMY, same general idea, nice little pattern. Biggest difference here, I would say it's just simply a penny stock. No, there's a pattern look the exact same. It doesn't, but same general idea. So right here, you got to think that a lot of people have drawn that trend line. So let me be very clear. Me drawing that trend line, and it's not supposed to impress you. It's not supposed to make you think that I have a special skill. A lot of people have drawn that trend line. And I say all that because when a lot of people have drawn the same level and are watching the same levels, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So while there is no such thing as a guarantee, is it plausible? Is it valid that if the price can come back up here and get a break up through that level, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible scenario. As far as the bottom part of the pattern, we have that area right there. And then, whoops, let me change that to green again to represent the support part of the pattern. And then just to keep it all one color, make it easier to see. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the explosive move right there, we have our golf hole down here, and we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. But like I said, in this situation, it happens to be on a penny stock. Next one, NIO. Been tracking this one, and I realize I sound like a broken record, but that's what happens when things get into uptrend, because I'm going to say it again, higher highs and higher lows. And again, from an uptrend standpoint, that's really all you can ask for. I mean, you look at over the past few days, higher high, higher high, higher high, and then once again, a higher high. Now, sure, the price did pull back here a bit. So, I mean, there's no denying that the price essentially formed this downwards channel. But this is where the question comes into play. Okay, sure. If you just care about today, then all you would say is, yes, it is a downwards channel. But if you care about the bigger picture, you're going to be asking, okay, yeah, fair enough, it's a downwards channel. But what was happening before this downwards channel? And you would say, well, the price made this nice move up right like that. And now all of a sudden what we have from the big picture point of view is a bull flag pattern. So depending on your angle, again, day traders, and especially if you're somebody that bought right there, then yeah, the chart looks pretty bad for you because all it did was downtrend all day. But if you care about the big picture point of view, then sure, it pulled back, but that's what happens. Nothing can go straight up. So from that angle, what you would have is a bull flag pattern. But, big picture wise, the uptrend continues. Next one here, MNK, and I'm going to go through this very quickly because you've already heard me talk about this whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecies and bullish patterns. So you got to think a lot of people have drawn that trend line right there. And then as far as supports are concerned, you have that area right there. So just because I can't help myself, change it to green. And because I really just can't help myself, let's just keep it one color, but I'll leave it at that. So resistance, support, nice upwards move there. We have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So bull pennants across the board in terms of price ranges, but keep an eye on it. And again, no guarantees, but in terms of potential self-fulfilling prophecies, if it can get up there and push up through the top of it, that break in and of itself could very well create some good solid momentum. Next one, AMC, and not looking good, not in a healthy. Well, I take that back. It's on the edge of looking really, really not good. I'm just going to delete these lines out because really, at least in my opinion, the only question that matters is can the price maintain that pink line there, which on my chart denotes the very well known, the very famous 200 period moving average. Even if you have a basic understanding of charts, I'm sure you've heard of that 200 period moving average, and you know that when the price is above it, you want to see it hold as support. And again, technically speaking, the price is slightly below that pink line, but it is still well within the range of it, which is why moving forward, can the price hold above it? The sign that this thing here was just a flat out dead cat bounce, you could even call it a pump and dump in a sense, is that if this thing all of a sudden starts to separate to the downside, what gives me the right to call this, movement a pump and dump, or dead cat, whatever you want to call it? Well, think about it. The price was down here and then made a huge move up. Do truly strong moves go right back to where they began? No, they don't. That would be the exact opposite of a truly strong move. And that hasn't happened yet, but that's what that pink line is representing, because any further move to the downside, you're literally putting the price right back to where it was before the big move upwards earlier on in the week. So yes, very, very critical level here at the 200 period moving average. Can the price stay above it and then start to get a bounce from here? We'll see what happens. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage. Now, one special note, it is a genuine live event. So a couple situations, I understand. It's summertime, it's busy, I have 5 kids, so maybe you already have something on your schedule this evening, or maybe you're just watching this Friday morning and you completely missed it. That's okay, it will be recorded, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay after it's all completed. So just drop me an email, clay@claytry.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to it. All I ask is, it is a live event, so it does first need to happen, and then got to get it uploaded, and then I can send you a link to it. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a few hours. Next one, TLRY. So talked about this one yesterday, and you've heard this before, but yeah, we had ourselves a nice bull pennant pattern. But this is, of course, not guaranteed to happen every time, but this is the idea. So all these bull pennant patterns we've been looking at, this is what you're ideally looking to see. Break of the pattern and then getting very, very nice follow through. So a very, kind of polite manner for the chart to give us a bunch of bull pennants and then give us a good situation and an example of one working out very nicely. But after that, today's price movement, all we essentially have is, once again, another pattern. A little bit different here, because I would consider this more of a flatter area of resistance right up there at $2.27. And then as far as the supports are concerned, you have this level that's coming across right there, which was the former breakout point, and that's just basic technical analysis. When levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So maybe you would say, Clay, you're getting a little, too into the semantics of things. So is this a bull pennant? I would not call it a bull pennant. I would call it more of a bull flag, but I do respect your opinion completely. If you're like, Clay, stop it. This is a bull pennant. Doesn't necessarily need to be a bull flag. I completely respect that too. But the point here being is that the uptrend continues. Yes, it did pull back here, but what was going on before that movement right there? So that's another way to look at a bull flag if you want. But moral of the story here, powerful day. And as long as this thing keeps on putting those higher highs and higher lows, that's what matters most. Next one, MRSN. And I know this is very hard to see, but that's just kind of the nature of it, because it had such a huge gap down right here, which just makes the ranges difficult. But nonetheless, the key dynamic here and what makes this very interesting is that maybe, just maybe, this thing is starting to wake back up for a bigger move. Now, what makes me say this? And for those of you that have, traded long enough, I'm sure you've seen situations where you get gap downs, and then after the gap down, the price just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds and bleeds and just keeps on going. That was not the case here. The price gap down, it went sideways, and now, as I speak, you can see some upwards movement. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because the price gapped down and then went sideways and then is showing some upwards movement does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going back upwards. If only it were that easy. Now, does it make it a little bit more plausible? Absolutely. Case in point, let's just say that the price actually looks something like this. Gap down and then dropping, and I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be some sort of bottom. You'd be completely justified to say, what are you talking about? Based on what? It's literally just still dropping straight down. But that's not the case here. It's leveled out and starting to now go upwards. So does that mean that it's a bottom and a reversal is coming? Absolutely not. But does it mean that it's at least in an interesting situation? In my mind, absolutely. And that's what a watch list is all about. To find unique, to find interesting situations, and not randomly rush out and start buying stuff, but to watch it and see how things continue to develop. So if you find this sort of set of circumstances interesting, then I definitely keep an eye on it for Friday. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched the previous video, but if you did, talked quite a bit about that level right there as a main area of support, and you can see that when the price finally did crack below it right there, that opened up the floodgate quite a bit, and down the price went. So definitely updates here need to be done with a very interesting level here, looking like it's approaching on Friday. So just want to add a little bit of context. Now, from the big picture point of view, you can still see that Tesla is up very much so from where it was just several weeks ago. But we're going to zoom back in here and look at more of the near term levels, because the main dynamic here to keep an eye on, at least in my opinion, that you got to think a lot of people are watching. So again, potentially have that whole idea of the self-fulfilling prophecies is this level down here at $254. Nothing fancy behind that, other than that that's the factor the bleeding stopped last time before you got a nice bounce. As I was just talking, if only it were that easy. Am I saying that for sure it's going to come down here and bounce and go back upwards? Of course not. But is it rational? Sure. I mean, it's happened before. Does not mean it'll happen again. But, it's a plausible conclusion for you to reach and say, I think there could be some buyers down there. So I'm going to watch that area for a potential bounce. So 204 going to be an important area, or excuse me, not 204, 254. And then in terms of areas of resistance, if there is any sort of attempted bounce back in the upwards direction, I would keep an eye on that. But in my opinion right now, main kind of question is not necessarily can it break that level of resistance, but is this level of support going to hold down here, or is this bleeding going to continue? So we'll see what Friday has to offer. Next one here, META, Meta, otherwise known as Facebook in my mind. But overall, big movement today, had earnings, and this is where things get a little tricky from a charting perspective. And I've already kind of talked about this before, but I'll just do the Cliff Notes version. It's tricky because, well, what was your standpoint going in? Meaning, if you are a day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well, then from that angle, the chart looks absolutely terrible, because there's no doubt about it. This thing had a downtrend all day long. However, if you care about the big picture point of view, then what are you going to be asking? You're going to be saying, okay, yeah, Clay, fair enough. Today, as in one day, there was a downtrend. But what was happening before today? Let's look at the bigger picture. Well, before today, huge move in the upwards direction. So from that angle, we're now looking at a bull flag pattern. So is this a good or bad looking chart to you? I have no idea, because I don't know what your strategy going in was. But yes, from a day trading standpoint, very brutal looking chart right now. But from the bigger picture point of view, sure, of course, it would be much better had this thing held up and then continue to grind higher and higher. But overall, still what I would call a bull flag pattern. So if you like bull flags, you like on very well-known stocks, maybe you like to play options, and now you're thinking maybe some calls or something like that, then I completely see where you're coming from. But like I said, big picture-wise, bull flag pattern. Next one here, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ. So if you believe the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to go up, this one will also go up. And it's a very popular ETF. Gets a whole lot of volume every single day. And again, this would mean a bit more to those of you that watch previous videos. But if you have, then in yesterday's video, I added in that secondary area of support. The first level that you want to see hold was that pink line there, 200 period. But you can see the price is now down below there. But the other area, like I said, was the secondary, that trend line. I mean, the power of charts. I'll turn this into a quick plug. Go get signed up for that class, or send me an email so I can send you a replay to it. Are charts perfect? No, but are they a very valuable tool? Absolutely, and we have a real life example of that. Now, I understand, Clay, whatever, you just put that line there. I understand your skepticism, but all you got to do is go back in the video archive, watch your video from yesterday, and you'll see that I put that line in place, and it held very, very nicely. But moving forward, that is going to be a very important level to watch from a support standpoint, because if that level does not hold, then it begins to put the price down in, it's not like that's going to ruin the entire chart, so that's not what I'm saying at all. But it does, then put into play a potential, move at least down to that 41.65 mark, if not even lower than that. But you don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves, because so far so good. The price is maintaining above that initial trend line right there. But any sort of break of it, especially a high volume break, then it seems very realistic that at minimum 41.65 could be around the corner. If the price does try to bounce back upwards, then main initial area of resistance is going to be all about that purple line there, 50 period moving average. You can see it actually already acted as resistance once. Current value of that is, let's just call it 43.50. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to go get signed up for the free class. It'll be this evening, Thursday, July 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So just keep in mind the Eastern time part. But again, if you have something on your schedule or you just flat out missed it, you're watching this Friday morning, then please drop me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I would be happy to send you a link to that replay. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. And it's been great the past several videos, a lot of people commenting, hitting that like button, which really helps out, communicates to me that you enjoy. So if you do enjoy and would like for me to continue to put in the time and effort to get this content out to you, hit that like button, leave a comment, say hi, give me a smiley face. Tell me what you traded today. Tell me what you're watching tomorrow. But those things help out the channel quite a bit, and I thank you for doing that. So go get signed up for that free training, or just send me an email, hit that like button, leave a comment. Thanks for watching.